Hey everyone, welcome to the last Boohoo Phoenix Talks of 2024. We are in episode
Yep.
36. Oh my God, I can't believe what an amazing journey this year has been so far, and I can't wait to see what next year is going to bring.
I
But
know, me too.
tonight we have a fun topic, maybe. I'm not exactly sure how fun it'll be.
Well, we'll make it fun because we
We'll,
always keep it light.
we'll try to make it fun, and I apologize for looking off screen. I'm getting the chat room up on my end so that I can see the conversation. We got Bryce in the background moderating tonight. Thank you so much, Bryce. We appreciate you.
He will pop on in 1 minute.
But you must forgive me because I'm not really prepared for tonight. You see what I did there, right?
Yes.
Segue. Yeah.
Very well done.
But
So,
how can you really prepare for the act of forgiveness?
so the reason why I wanted to bring up this topic is because of holiday season, and now we're interacting with individuals that we don't always interact with because it's holiday season and there's interactions.
A
On
little
a
bit,
different level.
a little
You know
bit.
what I mean? So I brought it up because there's a lot of angst that occurs along with the joys of the holidays comes the angst. And part of that is the resentment that pops up from seeing folks who trigger you, because that's what's going to happen.
Like it or not.
Like it or not. So that's why I wanted to bring up forgiveness. You cannot reach the fullest capacity of compassion for yourself without the forgiveness piece. Forgiveness is the gatekeeper. So, I kind of want to discuss family dynamics, coworker dynamics, whatever dynamics you have, like friend parties, whatever comes up during the holiday season for you, where there's triggerings going on, because obviously there's going to be. So I wanted to kind of come up with scenarios and stuff to talk about what it might look like, what we can do to walk ourselves through to a place of compassion and forgiveness so that they don't bother us anymore, because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Getting to that place of peace, letting go of resentments, and forgiving first and foremost ourselves and others. So let's hit it.
The first intro to a scenario that I'm hearing is you know what you did last year.
Mm, okay, let's roll with it. And
So
you may have no idea what you did last year.
exactly. You might not know,
Right.
but at the same time, if you're the one thinking that, whether or not they know, it's going to create some tension,
Right.
anxiety, don't want to go, don't want to face people because for however long you've been carrying it, you've been carrying this anger or negative emotion inside about somebody else
Right.
that you haven't forgiven them for yet, whether or not they know that it was something that was real.
So let's just stick to that scenario and go into well, how do we move past this crap so that we can forgive? So, first and foremost, the understanding that they are living their own experience, they're having their own reality, they're perceiving things differently than you are. Their perspective is based on whatever knowledge they accumulated and whatever limited stuff that they learned, and whatever experience examples and people that they had to emulate. So understand how very unique and individual your own experience is and how your perspective is different. Remember that. That is key to all the underlying forgiveness things that you struggle with.
Oh yeah.
That is key. Their limitations end up becoming yours, and you end up harboring resentment. You end up having all these negative feelings, even guilt and shame, instead of understanding that, whoop, gonna detach myself from that person emotionally because we're not on the same page. We're not aligned.
And you can also detach from them physically. It's not a requirement.
Mhm.
And I'm going to go off something that's being said in the chat by Carrie that she's not ready to forgive. Okay,
Okay, that's fine. The
that's
first piece
fine.
is emotional detachment. So
Yes.
you have to separate yourself and your experience from that person and their experience, regardless of the role that they played in your experience.
And if
Take a
putting
lot of
yourself into
work.
that place where you are face to face in the same environment with them, and this isn't just for her, this is for anybody.
Right,
If you're not ready, if you're not comfortable, if you don't think that you're going to A, have a good time, B, be able to hold your mouth, or C, leave there feeling better than you went,
right,
don't go.
right. Exactly. Don't go.
Just don't go.
In the
Nobody is
mid,
forcing you. If you feel forced, that's on you.
right.
No one
And
can
you're
force
putting
you to
that
do anything.
expectation and demand on yourself. But going back to the how do we get to that readiness place to step towards deeper compassion?
Right.
Um, so when you're reflecting on the circumstances with that individual and those interactions that happened already, take this as an opportunity for you to self-examine and determine what aspects of yourself uh, triggered that reaction from them and what kind of response they got out of you. Acknowledge the type of person that that you might have known they were, but kind of ignored and tolerated, and just kind of work through aspects of yourself that allowed yourself to continue something that you never should have started in the first place. There's a bunch of different pieces to walk through, but it's a self-reflection moment for you so that you can determine what wasn't working so that you can actively choose to do something different going forward in your life. And in that process, you will actually end up understanding yourself on a deeper level and understanding them on a deeper level. And then you'll be ready to forgive. Remember, the forgiveness piece is for you to move on, for you to release those lower vibrational emotions like resentment, guilt, shame, whatever it is that you're carrying, expectations, judgments, whatever.
Right.
All that shit can't come with you in 2025.
Nope. Let it go.
Let it go.
Leave it at the door. Leave it at the ball drop. And,
Right.
you know, there's one aspect when it comes to our perspective on how people are treating us. Yes, it's up to us to remember that. But there are the abusers, there's a narcissist, there's the borderline personalities that all contribute to how we feel. And if we're in that environment enough and we listen enough repeatedly, we start to take on how they perceive us, how they treat us. And eventually, we've had enough and refuse to allow ourselves to go into that dynamic anymore. And one thing to remember, and whenever forgiveness is talked about, wherever it's talked about, one thing to really take in and remember is that forgiveness is not excusing what happened, whatever that was. It's not saying, it's okay that you treated me this way. No, it's not. That it's not okay. But
Mhm.
I am relieving myself from the burden of carrying what you tried to put on me by forgiving what happened.
Yeah. It's for you. It's
Yeah,
not for them. It's for
no,
you.
it is never for them. It's
Yes.
about them, but it's never for them.
Right. If you feel wronged, understand that you just didn't resonate and you're not on the same page and you're not aligned with one another. So yeah, in your world, in your perspective, you were wronged. because that was not what you expected from them.
Mhm.
So part of this is also being realistic about what expectations you have of people who may not ever come close to what you need them to be for you.
Yeah.
So that's a big piece of this as well, is you got to factor in all kinds of stuff with regards to what you're dealing with. And then so you can decide who in the future you allow in your space and place in those settings. Because you can say no, like Micah said before, you can say no. You don't have to go. If you feel like you need to make an appearance, you have to detach yourself from the individuals that are not aligned with you. And you have to release yourself from any false sense of obligation and responsibility to their projected expectations onto you.
Mhm.
So you don't have that buildup of resentment. Resentment comes when you feel like you're disrespecting yourself. Oh, I just said something very important for you to keep in mind when you're self-reflecting. In what ways are you disrespecting yourself?
And that's where the self-forgiveness comes in, because you were disrespecting yourself.
Ultimately, it begins and ends within yourself. So the forgiveness piece is important because it's really for you.
And something else to remember is that once you exclaim, whether it's to the person or it's just something that you decide to say for yourself, once you make that exclamation, that doesn't take away the pain.
Mhm.
You will, there will still be a period of time where you readjust and recalibrate in order to get back to,
Right.
because
Now,
yeah, you
sometimes
were,
it's a grieving process that's
yeah,
incorporated into what you just said.
right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Hmm. Right. It
And
doesn't matter if
sometimes
they're
open
friends.
the door for the grief processing to happen.
Right. And it doesn't matter the relationship dynamic because we're all humans and all levels of the spectrum on all relationship dynamics. So we can experience this on all sorts of different, coworker, friend, um, boss, intimate relationship, family member.
Right.
So it applies to everything and everyone. Uh,
Yes.
right. And ultimately we have to give ourselves an opportunity to reflect when we recognize that this really isn't for me and I give myself permission to say no.
And I don't know about you, but whenever, whether it's in a podcast or it's in a post on Facebook, and I read about forgiveness and off and how it's about you and empowering you, I always, almost always feel that there's one person at least whose eyes are going to fall onto that, whose ears are going to hear it, that immediately get defensive because there's a misunderstanding about why forgive. I mean, like I said in the promo for tonight's show, this season is about forgiving, gifting to others. What about gifting to yourself? Because for giving, you were brought here for giving. Give yourself
Yeah.
that gift.
And it is a gift to yourself because you're helping yourself relax your nervous system and get out of survival mode. You're kind of keeping yourself in survival mode when you're hanging on to old resentments, old angers, old sadness, old whatever, judgments. Uh, the process of getting to know yourself helps you understand yourself more deeply and you become more solid. And then you're going to be able to reach a place where you love people where they're at, regardless of where they fall into your experience. And you choose whether or not you give them more of your time and energy
Yeah.
or not.
Now, I'll let you take the lead on this one, but I triple checked on going down this rabbit hole. Forgiveness of a family member who physically abused in an inappropriate manner.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
I danced around that, and my guides kind of pushed me in the hole and said, "Go."
Yeah,
Okay, fine. Here
right.
we are.
So you don't have to have any interaction with them whatsoever. The forgiveness piece happens on your own terms and on your own time. And it is walking through the understanding that you were nothing, and it's not going to be fun. This is not a fun conversation. Um, you were nothing more than something for them to satisfy their own needs, whatever that was for them, which unfortunately for them was something that was incredibly toxic and abusive and damaging. So understand that they, for whatever reason in their own life, got to that place in their life where that's what they chose to do to you or anyone else is sad in and of itself. So that emotional separation piece comes from understanding that unfortunately it happened.
Yeah.
The forgiveness is that piece that you have to give yourself to bring you to that state of getting out of survival. That's really what it boils down to, because you didn't deserve it. You didn't do anything. You didn't ask for it. It wasn't fair. It should have never happened, but it did. And now you're stuck with these lower vibrational emotions that are affecting your personal experience. It's not healthy for you. They don't know shit. The one who did that, he's got his own karma coming, and he doesn't know what you have going on inside you. So that turmoil that is remaining, rightfully so, because it was appropriate. It's an appropriate response to an inappropriate and toxic, abusive circumstance. So I'm not saying that it's inappropriate to feel those things. I'm saying you're maintaining it continually, which is sabotaging your experience. It's bringing that energy into your choices, into your decisions, into your thought process, into your self-loathing. How much self-loathing has there been from that experience? So the forgiveness piece is truly for you, saying, and for that, it's a matter of understanding that that person, uh, wherever they were just at where they were at. It wasn't like it wasn't about you, unfortunately. And that's where that separation has to happen for you mentally in order to understand that, okay, I didn't deserve this. I'm going to advocate for myself now, and I'm going to step up to the plate as an adult and advocate for my child, my inner child that didn't get that person, and say, enough of this shit. You're not running my life. You're not changing my life. You're not doing anything anymore to rule what I have going on. Because if you don't forgive, you're going to end up getting stuck and having repeat patterns and self-loathing continuously. That's a tough one to walk through, and it takes time. You have to be patient and let things come up and unfold over a period of time. It's not a fast fix, but it's worth it.
If you're currently going through this, have the courage, love yourself enough to make it stop without karmic results on your end. Go about it appropriately. Go through the channels, report it, do what you have to do to make it stop so that you can begin to heal. For those who it's not happening to anymore, I want you to remember something. If your ears are hearing what I'm saying, you survived. You may not be thriving in where you're at, about it, and avoid any kind of triggers so that you don't have to think about it. But as soon as it does get triggered, it takes a while for it to go away. When that happens, remember that you survived it. It's not in your reality anymore. It's in your thoughts, it's in your memories. It's not present. And there was also a time before all of that happened that you survived. Change the story. Remember that you can survive in a different feeling, in a different experience than what you're going through right now. And in forgiving what happened, not who, what happened and how you allowed that to completely damage your experience and the capability of enjoying that kind of interaction with another human being. Forgive that so that you can move up, pick it up, push it to the side, move on, and move into a better life experience.
Yeah. And just remember, it takes time. None of this happens on the first try. There's stages of this. You'll practice your conscious. If you listen to all of our episodes, you'll learn how to practice conscious awareness of self, and you'll learn how to process your triggers. If you continuously and consciously do that, you will get to your space of peace and understanding that they're over there, you're over here, you're not at all doing this anymore. It's just way, way different now. So just remind yourself that it is always about you because you're the only one living your experience. You're the only one feeling your feelings. You're the only one who's, you know, making decisions for yourself that affect you. No one else is involved but you. So that forgiveness piece is really literally for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. This holiday season is going to be a little odd because everyone's strapped and stressed.
Which is bizarre because it's probably the one with the most hustle and bustle since 2019. People are out spending money like they haven't in years. They're out and about with other family members like they haven't in years. So a lot of stuff is coming up
Right.
that hasn't been dealt with.
Right. So instead of resentment and anger and continued hatred or loathing or any of those feelings, instead think, send healing, love and healing. Just send healing. Wish them conscious awareness of self.
Mm-hmm.
Wish them healing.
If you have irreconcilable differences with somebody else, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's 100% okay. How many exes do people have
Right.
from previous relationships? You don't talk to them anymore because you didn't get along.
Right. Right.
Sometimes it's better to be alone.
Yes, for sure. Now, that being said, if you were having to deal with an ex and there is animosity and abuse and whatever kind of stuff happening there, remember where your attention goes, energy flows. So pretend they don't exist. Make it very transactional, business-like, and leave all the emotions out of it because they're irrelevant to you now.
Mm-hmm.
They're irrelevant in your experience. It is literally a transactional experience. Leave it at that.
I know a few people in my current circle that would at this point in the video be like, nope, and leave. Because they're still in it. Now,
Yeah, I
this
know.
topic isn't really for people who are still in it.
Yes and no,
I
because
mean,
it
yes
does
and no.
start, because when you do start the process of that forgiveness and healing for yourself, then they become less relevant. And it actually helps you get to that space of peace and inner satisfaction, if you will.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with them. They become a lot less relevant, and their bite becomes a lot smaller than their bark. And they're all bark and no bite. They only have that power over you because you are living in that fear and survival mode of them and their retaliation, etc. It is not easy and it takes a long time, but you can train yourself and rewire your brain, and they will become irrelevant. Treat them like they don't exist. Keep it transactional in business. What I forgot what the method is called. Gray rock or something like that. I don't know. Sorry. Not good with terminologies and things, but there's a terminology for it when dealing with specific types of personalities that are abusive.
Yeah.
Where you just, stonewall. No, that's not it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just keep it
Definitely don't gaslight
transactional.
though. Don't gaslight them. Nope, nope, nope.
Well, if you maintain your authenticity and limit your interaction and maintain that business-like transactional interaction, it'll piss them off, I promise you. Don't worry. They're realizing that they're becoming irrelevant.
Mhm.
That might happen several times before, and it may continue to happen. The point is that it needs to become irrelevant to you. You are the one having your experience. They are not having your experience. You are. It needs to be peaceful for you, so they need to be irrelevant.
There's so many different examples that are just flocking in. I'm having trouble filtering them out so that they're
Yes.
individual and not all grouped together. Because there's the screaming child syndrome, where if you're just continuously screaming at a child that's screaming at you, you're just continuing the pattern.
Right.
So if you're in a situation, if you're still in it and you're not forgiving it, and you're continuing with your own resentment, you're going in with your own resentment, you're just feeding it.
Right.
You're not correcting it. You're not standing your ground. You're not raising your vibration. You're meeting them where they're at.
Right.
And the longer that you meet those that need to be, wow,
Right.
it almost slipped, but I'm gonna say it anyway, forgotten. Those that need to be forgotten are the ones you have the most trouble forgiving yourself for giving them your energy.
Perfection. Yes. Because
I
really that's
may
what
have
it's
to rewind
about.
that because it literally came out and gone.
Mm-hmm. But literally for that, I mean, the reality is you're disrespecting yourself by giving them that attention. Now, I'm not talking about when that's what you learned. That's what you were, your training, your programming, your knowledge accumulated led you to those behaviors. So it's up to you to recognize that and the forgiveness piece is important through all of this because you're forgiving yourself for what you didn't know and what you did to survive, whatever you don't resonate with today that you did yesterday, you have to forgive all of that. What you're continuing to do forward is what matters. So what are we choosing going forward? Are we going to approach it differently? Did we handle it slightly better this time than we did last year? You did? Yay! Cheer yourself on. Don't judge yourself. Give
Yes.
yourself credit for even a tiny step forward because this isn't easy, especially when there's deep trauma, especially when there's abuse. So, and that happens in a lot of family. We're all dysfunctional families to some degree on some level of the spectrum. So we all messed up.
Going to Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, one of the agreements is always do your best. Now, one of the things that a lot of people, oh, gonna have fun reading the comments on this one. But what if I said to you that that person that abused you physically, sexually, mentally, emotionally, what if I said that that person was just doing their best? Let that sink in for a second. I can already feel coming back from that.
Yes. And I'm gonna add that to the understanding piece that their experience in life led them to that place. And it's a matter of understanding that their experience in life led them to that place in those decisions. It had nothing to do with you.
Nope. And they're literally just doing their best to survive based on what they know and
Right.
how they were brought up. And they cannot, will not change unless they realize what they've done, feel some kind of remorse or regret about it, and make the conscious change, conscious decision. You can't fix them.
Yeah.
But and this is where having self compassion and understanding that you're not excusing them. You're not saying that what they did was okay and that they, just keep on doing it. You're fine. That's how you are. That's how you were brought up. This is how you'll always be. No, 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 no.
Well, it's not okay. That's why you're not going to give them more of your energy. You're going to pull
Right.
back and maybe completely disconnect. That's your decision. You
Yes.
get to make that decision.
And having that understanding, it's not about you. It might be at you, but in reality, it's towards
Mhm.
because it's just what they know. They're just doing their best, and having that understanding once that really sinks in, then the forgiveness is so much easier.
Mhm.
Separate
Because it helps.
separation from the from the situation.
Yeah. It's easier because you recognize that you're just doing your best and you've only ever just done your best through everything that you've experienced. Even when you weren't in danger and you acted like you were in danger, which was your best, and it didn't go so well for anyone involved, because we all have those times
Yeah,
to reflect on. Understand you too were doing your best. So that self-forgiveness piece, whoo, is at the core of any and all forgiveness.
I forgive
Yeah.
myself for giving this person my energy, my life, my attention. I return to sender, return to me what I gave back or what I gave to them. Return this to me. I am forgiving myself.
I'm going to add some more on there. I forgive myself for not honoring my needs. I forgive myself for allowing myself to be disrespected. All those need to be included too. Now,
Yes.
remember, when you do have conversations with individuals that you don't resonate with and try to engage you, when you speak, keep yourself in check. Is it true? Is it relevant? Is it kind? You need to keep yourself regulated and understand whatever they got going on ain't about you. It's about them, their experience, and what you're reminding them of that they didn't fix within themselves. You're the one on the healing journey. Not everyone's on a healing journey.
No. Even
Remember
though many
that.
are. Even
Remember.
us. I mean, you and I both, we still have our own things. We have our own discoveries that might happen on a daily basis, might happen once a week, but we still have a journey.
Mhm.
And it's not always about healing. Sometimes it's just coming across new wisdom that we didn't know we had before
Right.
that changes the experience that we're having in the now. And I noticed we got several watching live right now. We've got Bryce. Thank you so much for continuing to moderate with DJ Carey. But the others are kind of quiet in the chat. But if anybody has any comments or questions that they'd like for us to address before we jump off, we got maybe about 10 more minutes left in the broadcast. But just wanted to give that opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, that's for sure, because I've already heard some things from folks around me, and I could sense the energies a little high and low simultaneously.
I won't air the dirty laundry, but I can hear them too.
So, yeah, I feel like a big jump and propelling forward is handling and navigating the season differently than you did last year, and that's why forgiveness has to be a part of it, because ultimately what you tolerate is what you teach people how to treat you. Um, so at this point, if you're an adult and you've had extensive experience and you're on a healing journey, it's a matter of learning about yourself so that you choose to do something different. And I cannot stress that enough, because people jump to like judgment and shame. Don't do that.
No.
That's opposite of what we're telling you to do.
Yeah. If you want some pointers on that, I talked about that this morning over my Facebook. So
There you go.
about getting back to your self-compassion through kindness and empowering yourself so that you can be resilient again. But absolutely coming back to how do you want other people to treat you? Because one of the reflections in life is that people treat you the way you treat you. And if you're carrying around guilt, if you're carrying around shame, if you're carrying around judgment, if you're carrying around isolation, anxiety, whatever you're carrying around, that's what you want to call it, universal energy, God, whatever, that's what is going to be most present in your life. So how are you treating you?
Right. And I'd like to tie in that those things that you just mentioned cause you to have thought patterns and behaviors that dishonor yourself, that disrespect yourself,
Yes.
that, do not meet your own needs neglect your own needs kind of thing. So all that you just mentioned leads to those things that we need to forgive ourselves from.
Yep. Which might actually be a result from the things that other people did to us that we need to forgive them for doing.
Yep. So it all ties in together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for anybody that didn't get to see the first conversation, which was episode 4, by the way, I checked. It was literally episode 4, the last time that we talked about forgiveness. But I'm gonna put a link at the end of this video once it finishes posting, so that people can go back and see what the difference is in our conversation. I feel like this one is even more empowering and hitting home for a lot of the viewers.
Yeah. I hope so, because, we're just here spreading empowerment.
That's why we're here, make an impact.
And we know we hit some really touchy subjects tonight, and not everyone's going to resonate with what either of us are saying, all the time, and that's okay. We're all limited to our own level of understanding, experience, knowledge, etc.
Yeah.
My knowledge is very varietative and broad and vast.
Yeah. So is mine, but my conversational abilities are a little shorter. And my words get, and you know what? That's who I am. And I don't care, like it, don't like it, don't care.
It's
So
all the same message, and it's all sounds
it's all
good.
the same message.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh, I love it how you put things so simply. See, hearing that changes everything
Hmm.
because then it's like, okay, I don't have to feel like I have to be at a different level. Aha, forgiveness.
Yeah. And on that note, Micah, we all resonate with whoever we're meant to resonate with. So
100%.
there's billions of people on the planet. My manner of speaking is not going to tune in with a bunch of people.
No,
Whoever I tune in with, I tune in with. Whoever don't, I don't.
that's why the powers that be sent down so many different people and called them to do this kind of work so that everyone could have access to someone that they resonate with.
Mhm.
If it's not me, blessings. If it's not Diane, blessings. If
Yes.
you're just enjoying the podcast, blessings, because we are having a great time coming to you every week
Yeah.
and bringing.
We do enjoy these chats, even though we touch on some serious subjects, we still try to keep it as light as possible and empowering as possible.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Micah.
Oh, it was your idea.
Thank you for acknowledging.
So thank you, you know, and I think we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
I hope that everyone takes a look back at 2024. Don't put the pressure on your shoulders that you should have done things differently.
Oh, no,
You could
no,
have, but you didn't. It's over. You still got another year coming.
well,
What changes do you want to make? And what you don't, oh my God, this word, resolution. Oh my God, because people don't hold them. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to be a better person. And 4 weeks later, they're still doing it because there was pressure. It wasn't a want to want. And that's one reason why Risers in Flight, my bi-weekly coaching group, is great because it's not a resolution. It's a community that we come together and we have a great time talking to each other. It's literally just a conversation. I provide readings, I provide energy scans, and in it's all in the mix. And it helps, we help each other grow. I even learned
talk
things
about
like
your resolutions.
you can talk about what you want to change. You can talk about the steps, and you'll have a community surrounding you that will you help push you along and hold you accountable. Did you do this? Did you do what you wanted to? So Risers in Flight, it's not a resolution. It's a community. That and I am stealing that from a friend of mine who said that to me last night. She was like, you should really consider that. And oh my God, it resonated so much. I was like, oh, so it's one last time for this year on this program. The membership is $30 a week or 30 month. Sorry, $30 a month. I'd love $30 a week, but no, it's and then
Wouldn't we
once,
all?
once we hit 2025, the price is going up, but you can lock in the current pricing. And the first call is free. It's on me, just so that you can check things out, see if it resonates and something that you want to attend. And if you can't attend, that's okay. You'll have access to a community chat. You'll have access capability of asking me questions in there that I can address in the calls for you to watch later. So enough of the shameless plug on that. Watch Facebook for Break Free Rise Fierce. That program is getting launched very soon. And I got a special gift for the first 5 people that show me interest once I release it.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah. And it's a 6-week program, 12 sessions in 6 weeks. Really going to dig deep and help kick 2025 off for as many people as I can, because I
That's great.
really want to make an impact on people and get them going into their true selves and authenticity. And I'm
Yeah,
so excited because it's just building. And with
that's
that,
awesome. Yay. Thank
Any
you. With
closing
that,
remarks from you?
I'm going to leave
What would you like
homework.
to?
When you're reflecting on 2024, I would love for you to acknowledge how far you've come, even if you 10 minutes ago told yourself that you didn't do this, you didn't, you did blah, blah, blah. I want you to instead shift your focus onto all of the accomplishments and do not dismiss any accomplishment at any level. Even a tiny baby step is a step in that direction. Don't dismiss any of them. Give yourself a lot of gratitude and praise for a job well done. That's all I want you focusing on is what you've accomplished. And yes, you have accomplished a lot. Give yourself credit for every little part. You made it this far. Let's do more. I'll see you in 2025.
And we will be back January 8th. I think
Yes.
that's the right date. Yes, January
Yeah.
8th, because January 6th is when I officially launch the program. And that's a Monday.
Yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, just let us know that you stopped in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you know when we're going live. And I got other stuff that is going into my YouTube channel at random. You never know, but you won't know if you don't subscribe and click that notification bell. And please, I'd love to see the thumbs up clicked if you enjoyed the program or any video that's on my YouTube channel, because I don't know what you like if you don't tell me. I'm not that psychic. Okay.
Yes. I wish everyone peace, joy, and harmony this holiday season. Happy everything to everyone.
Yes. And love you. I love you.
Love. I love you. Thank
And I
you.
love you, Diane.
I
Thank you
love you, Micah.
for this fabulous journey. I can't wait for it to continue next year. And
Thank you. Me too.
keep going. Have an amazing holiday and celebration as we switch over to 2025. And we'll see you soon.